Welcome to this explainer. You know, we all think we're being so careful. We clear our browser history, we use VPNs, maybe we even put a piece of tape over our webcams. But today, we're conducting a forensic audit of some source material that makes those worries look practically ancient. According to these really chilling documents, a classified biological surveillance apparatus has moved far beyond tracking your digital footprint. They are directly targeting your biological essence.
So, we're going to unpack this structured briefing step by step. We'll start with the illusion of invisibility, get into the wild physics of DNA as a fractal antenna, look at the Terahertz Waveguide, audit something called Project MURMUR, and wrap up with the terrifying reality of the Biometric Panopticon.
All right, part 1. The illusion of invisibility and your biological shadow.
Let me ask you something. Do you think leaving your smartphone at home makes you untrackable? Because most of us do, right? The public firmly believes that just turning off a device or putting on a mask makes you completely invisible to the state. But the sources argue that this is a deliberate misdirection. It's designed to give us a totally false sense of security.
There's this massive gap between what we think is happening and the classified reality outlined in the text. While we're all stressing out over conventional tech like facial recognition and GPS, what the documents call the archonic system has completely evolved. They don't need to see your face. They are scanning the ambient environment for the exact resonant frequency of your DNA. It's your biological shadow, and you literally can't turn it off. Which brings us to part 2, DNA as a fractal antenna and the physics of the hunt.
To understand how this tracking works, the text points to Pentagon-funded research into something called Terahertz spectroscopy. Basically, every single biological molecule inside you, your specific DNA sequence, the exact way your proteins fold, absorbs and reflects radiation in the spectrum between microwaves and infrared light. And it does this in a mathematically unique pattern. Think of it like your own personal radio station. This isn't just theory. This is a permanent biological barcode.
And the documents present a really profound shift in how we think about biology. The mainstream view is just that DNA is static, chemical computer code. But the text presents what it calls a Gnostic view, where your genetic code is actually a dynamic, living fractal antenna. Structurally speaking, the double helix is a perfect solenoid coil. It is mathematically optimized to receive and transmit electromagnetic energy, meaning you are constantly broadcasting your specific signature out into the world.
The source dives into a timeline of supposedly suppressed experiments to back this up. In the 90s, Dr. Peter Garyev proved the phantom DNA effect, showing that laser light kept scattering in the exact shape of DNA even after the physical molecule was taken out of the room. By 2009, Nobel laureate Dr. Luc Montagnier demonstrated teleporting DNA data using a 7.83 Hz carrier wave. Fast forward to a 2023 replication study claiming this phantom energy field actually lasts up to 62 days. That means military sensors could theoretically pick up your biological ghost months after you've left the room.
Okay, part 3, the Terahertz Waveguide and how they are actually deploying this hardware. For decades, measuring these incredibly faint biological fields required massive, bulky devices called squids that needed extreme liquid helium cooling. But here's the real game changer. The invention of SERF atomic magnetometers, spin exchange relaxation-free sensors. This totally solved the cooling problem. It miniaturized quantum surveillance to operate at room temperature, allowing intelligence agencies to just mount these sensors directly onto stealth drones and satellites.
And the engineering goes all the way down to the atomic level. The documents say defense contractors created a specific metamaterial by layering bismuth, which acts as a flawless one-way mirror for electromagnetic waves, with highly conductive magnesium. Crucially, they engineer these layers to an exact thickness of 1 to 4 microns. Why? Because that perfectly matches terahertz wavelength. The result is a literal quantum electromagnetic trap for catching your ambient biological frequencies.
So how is this actually applied in the field? That brings us to part 4, auditing Project MURMUR and the algorithm of surveillance.
The text details a highly classified operation known as Project MURMUR. It describes this as the ultimate weaponization of quantum physics. We're talking about a system specifically designed to track a human's electrical signature through solid rock, deep subterranean bunkers, or thick jungle canopies. According to the source, there is absolutely nowhere to hide from a quantum sweep. Let's break down exactly how this hunt works. First, a high-altitude drone does a quantum sweep, pulling in massive amounts of raw magnetic data. Second, they use advanced AI for environmental noise cancellation to mathematically strip away the Earth's natural background static. Finally, biological discrimination. Neural networks filter out animal noise to lock right onto the unique, tiny femtotesla pulse of a human heartbeat amid the complete chaos of a battlefield. And the sheer depth at what Murmur can allegedly hear is staggering. It doesn't just track your location. The text describes it as a remote, full-body diagnostic tool. It can isolate your exact cardiac rhythm, perform remote MEG scans to read your cognitive and emotional states in real time, and even track your unique gait through your muscle movements. All of this happening simultaneously.
Which leads us right into part 5, the Biometric Panopticon and the Inescapable Grid.
15 square miles. To put this into perspective, the source states that just one ArgIS array can persistently stare at an entire city, tracking every single moving target within a 15 square mile radius. It allegedly generates an exabyte of tracking data every single day. That is the equivalent of hundreds of thousands of years of HD video, all of it stored in massive server farms so they can forensically rewind any citizen's movements.
The documents argue that by combining 5G infrastructure, low Earth orbit satellites, and these quantum sensors, a literal frequency fence is being deployed. And the ultimate goal isn't just to know your location. The Archonic system wants to continuously harvest this data to meticulously map, patent, and eventually own your biological source code. The text leaves us with this incredibly stark indictment. You are a biological product licensed by the state, and the Archons have finally achieved total molecular ownership of their livestock. According to these sources, this massive surveillance architecture is designed to reduce the human soul to a permanent, trackable string of digital code.
So, we have to ask ourselves, if your very DNA is broadcasting an unmaskable, completely unique frequency straight up to the sky, where can you possibly hide? If your biology itself is the tracking device, maybe privacy isn't just compromised, maybe it's completely extinct. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer. I hope this audit gave you a clear, if entirely unsettling, look into what the source material is really claiming.